Welcome back, guys, to a very special episode.
Very special.
Because this will be Luca's last episode. As he will take us through what he loves about the film Morbius.
It's been a long time coming. We talked about this film for a bunch of episodes.
Yeah, in case anyone follows me on Instagram, you would have seen Morbius posts for the past maybe like 6 weeks every day.
Yeah. Even though he hadn't seen it until today.
I mean, with Morbius, I don't think you have to see it to appreciate it. It's
but will you say in some sense that is some like a phenomenon?
It is. It really is a miracle. The way Morbius was made. It was
no, not made. But I mean the fact that it's like so trending.
No, for sure. Yeah.
That has become kind of a meme online.
And it's become like, for those unaware, for the past like week, it's been top of trending on Twitter every day. And the movie came out like how long? Like 4 months ago or something like that.
I think that aspect of it is very interesting. How the internet.
Yes.
Made Morbius into a meme because it's.
So I blame Luca's generation because they think it's funny to do it ironically. You know,
I like because like if you Harry would know because he was like very up to date with the Morbius shitposting because I've been like spamming it. It started out very like people were very ironic about it, but then it like gradually shifted to where it's no longer even recognizable whether it's ironic or not in some aspects. Like some of it is clearly, but there's some that are like seem like genuine praise. So it's interesting how confusing it gets.
So the lines have been blurred between satire and.
Because I was thinking about this, because I don't know. I feel like your generation wouldn't have had that. No, you just said how am I not allowed to talk about your generation? You wouldn't have had that kind of level of irony, whereas now I feel like everything is ironic to a degree. Everything is like everything is a bit and serious at the same time. I feel like it's.
I think it's just a social media thing.
Yeah,
because we didn't have social media.
Yeah, but it's an interesting like difference. In culture.
And then a lot of things which the internet likes ironically, like get like taken seriously.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, don't go so far and think you're the first to create satire.
No.
But it is crazy what trending can do and hashtags can do.
Exactly, but like a lot of these like meme rappers get like legit record contracts because they have like a following online.
Yeah, and so that's the thing is following matters more than quality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And trending matters more than quality.
Yeah, but I guess like it's kind of interesting because Morbius became a meme in a different way where like I guess it's because people were sick of.
How did it do at the box office?
It didn't do too bad. I thought it was awful, but it made a profit. It's not like a huge Marvel profit, but it made a profit.
So, do you think it made a profit ironically because people wanted to see?
No. I don't think
so. But it's interesting because
Morbius box office 57 million.
When
124 million worldwide.
Yeah. And it was a 75 million budget, so it made about 50 million in the box office profit.
I guess it still has like selling power with Jared Leto and some kind of because basic horror fans.
With the Morbius memes, it started out the first Morbius memes were always like gonna be the first movie to sell 0 tickets, or like gonna be the first movie to like immediately be lost media, or like shit like that. But then over the course of like a week, it immediately switched around to this ironic first movie to sell 1 more billion tickets.
Yeah.
First movie to.
Okay, well let's get into it. Let's get into the spoilers. Luca, your choice. So do you want to tell us what it's about?
All right. So this is a character study of a character of Dr. Micahel Morbius. So Dr. Micahel Morbius has had blood disease since he was a kid, and he spent his whole life trying to find a cure for it. And he realizes that vampire bats have a gene that lets them essentially when they drink blood, it lets them process that. I don't know the scientific, if there's science behind it.
Science.
But it lets them drink blood and feed off of that. And he kind of realizes, if I have that gene, I can, supplement the blood that I have, which is diseased. So he does the classic superhero thing of mixing his blood with animal blood, DNA, and becomes Morbius. So the course of the movie takes him from essentially getting those powers for the first time, and then Milo, who is his best friend and has the same disease, does the same thing, gets the same powers against Morbius.
Does the transition happen because they have a disease? Or anybody doing this would have the same result?
I think everybody doing it would have the same result, but they are just more inclined to do it because they have something
inclined to do it, but the thing is the reaction would be the same for everyone.
Yes, I think the reaction would be the same.
It's not that unique a super ability, is it?
I think I like that though. It's like everyone could be Morbius. But it's true. It's true.
But
it's true.
But I don't think they explored that though. Other than
no, they didn't.
Other than the woman, but that's because he bit her. So that's like traditional vampire, right?
But I think that's the interesting side of it, because everyone could have done that and could have had the same results. Whereas Spider-Man, it's like, it's these circumstances that get him to become the one and only Spider-Man. Anyone can be Morbius. Milo was Morbius as well. And I mean, not Morbius, but he had the same powers.
Vampiric.
So I think that's interesting because it's about everyone can get it, but who is desperate enough to do it?
Get the fuck out.
It's a much more interesting premise.
So what do you like about it?
All right, I'm gonna start off with a couple of things. Let's start story, since we're already on that kind of topic.
First of all, how did you know anything about Morbius?
Be honest with our viewers. This is episode 9, right? Yeah. Are you being ironic? Yes.
No, not really. So
here's the thing.
Here's the thing. I started more posting as a joke. I saw it today, and it's not bad. It's like a 7-8 out of 10 movie.
You're shitting
7 or 8 out of 10.
It's alright. I think
that's interesting.
It's the best Marvel live action movie since Spider-Man 3.
Since Spider-Man.
There hasn't been one since Spider-Man 3.
Since Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
You mean Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3?
Yeah. And it's there's a couple
things.
I
don't know how we can be friends.
I think this podcast is just going to be one long shit post.
No, but it's true. Listen. Let's start story. It is very.
I don't know why. It's like you take pleasure in fighting us.
Listen.
No. First off, you said since Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
That implying that Spider-Man 3 was
better. Yes.
Was better than this.
But you're
even though everyone thinks Spider-Man 3 is
but you're saying that was a decent movie, Spider-Man 3.
All 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire are great movies in my opinion. Spider-Man 3 is not the best one, but it's the last Marvel live action movie that was better than Morbius.
Okay, that's interesting.
Who are you? How do you have such a refined taste for film until you get to shit films?
No. Listen,
Tobey Maguire, I would say 1 and 2. 3. 2
is the best one.
Exactly. 3 is a disaster.
No.
3 is
a little Shakespearean in nature, I would say. It's the story of it is very interesting to me because it kind of has Morbius gives me Spider-Man 3 vibes in the story, whereas it feels like every character represents an aspect of Morbius. In the same way that all of Spider-Man's villains in Spider-Man 3 represent an aspect of Spider-Man.
Do they though?
Yeah.
For Morbius? How?
So...
I get with his best friend, but the lady... What about the dad?
The dad, alright. The dad is a little weak in the character department. The best friend is the obvious one. But even the other ones who are trying to kind of restrain him. I think Morbius throughout the film is kind of this golden middle, whereas he's kind of he tries to surrender himself to the powers, but he doesn't go as far as Milo. But he's also not fully just surrendering himself to the disease, like what the doctors want, not the doctors, what the cops want him to do, and what the girl wants him to do. Yeah. So it's I think they're kind of, it's both sides of the conflict are represented through his friends. And yeah.
But you're also talking conceptually, like, but is this the reality of the movie though?
What do you mean?
Like, did the movie really make those arguments strongly and well?
It tried to make them, which is more than most Marvel movies have done.
I don't think it did at all. How? It kind of touched upon things that it could have explored, but it didn't really explore anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But it's the idea is there, and it's kind of spurs conversation.
I think there were a lot of possible good ideas to explore, right? I think this movie is so bad on a lot of levels, not just because it dropped the ball on a lot of stuff, but there was potentially some good elements in there that they didn't even touch upon. Right? And then there's some like heinous storytelling crimes that they did.
Oh yeah.
Like for example, how can you kill the female doctor, love interest, blah blah blah? How can you kill her with having having him completely unable to do anything about it? Right? It's like you lose such like you look at Spider-Man and it's like the whole essence of Spider-Man is that he let this guy go, and that guy kills his uncle. But right? And so that defines him forever, right? This is just like the guy that helped raise him dies. The girl that he's kind of in love with dies. There's nothing, no character development, no character building at all. It's just set piece after set piece after plot point with no suspense, no drive, no nothing, with no resolution, no build up. It's just.
I think you're just misinterpreting the purpose of the death of the both the doctor woman and the dad, because it's about Morbius and Milo, and they die because he invented essentially what caused Milo to be the way he is. So it is that similar to that Spider-Man thing, except it's a longer, feedback loop.
Okay, so let's get into their relationship. Okay, so how did they explore them being close? They're in hospital beds together as kids, and he calls him Milo, ironically, right?
And he's like.
He's like, why am I called Milo? Because the last guy was called Milo. And he goes, okay, I'll take that name. It's
and he's like, fuck? I don't even remember the first Milo.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're Milo now.
Yeah, and he goes, okay, because you're here longer, I guess I'll say okay. And then it's like, we've got to show that he's gonna be the bad guy by giving him rage issues. It's like, oh.
But I think it's also
it's like the least amount of effort you could put into storytelling. It's literally the least amount of effort.
But the thing you criticized is also part of the Milo's character, whereas he's kind of like an even more hopeless version of he's a hopeless version of Morbius, whereas the first time he shows up, he's like, you're Milo, whatever. He's very he surrenders himself to Morbius's ideas very easily.
That's the best way to describe it. The first time he shows up, all right, you're Milo, whatever.
It's kind of he's very submissive in that regard, whereas he's very easy to surrender himself, and that's why he's even more prone to when he lets go to escalating that to a degree beyond Morbius.
And that was his there's moments for one-liners that can carry a film, that can define a character, with great power comes great responsibility, that kind of stuff. And what's Milo's dying line? You gave me my name. It's like, what? That's his dying line?
Yeah, it's
Bro,
like that.
Really?
It's like that fucking Martha moment in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck?
It is, Morbius is Snyder-esque in a way.
Not at all.
It's a little better, but
Yeah, lot less slow motion.
yeah. But I didn't want to bring up in that regard. Now, very, very, very serious opinion. I really like the scene of Matt Smith like dancing after he gets his powers. I think because it is like a conscious reference to like what if you think dancing scene, what movie do you think of? Recent one, Joker, the staircase dance. I think it's a very conscious reference to that.
Well,
Whereas
you're reaching here. You're desperately trying to make this artistic.
Do you think?
No, but it's
Do you
true.
think it's a conscious? I mean, like I don't
It
know.
is.
They could like
What did you do after you watched it?
They
Were
could
you making
think that
notes
they're
on like
artsy.
how to save this film?
No, I enjoyed the movie, man. That's it. It's that simple. Anyway, I think it has to be a conscious choice because it's been such a cultural icon in the past like three however many years since Joker came out. That I think it's doing a dancing scene at a moment where a character kind of lets go completely is a Joker thing now.
Okay, again, so you're talking about conceptually. So you think the way they portrayed the concept that you're putting forward, do you think they did it well?
They could have done it better, yes, but it's still an interesting concept.
So you're thinking the jump cuts, the music.
Oh yeah, I love the
all
jump
of that.
cuts.
You love that.
Gives you
What's
kind
the-
of
You think his
what's the
dancing
song?
style,
It's
all
like-
of that was good.
The song is like some Europop thing.
But
it was. I think it's because it's.
I think it would have worked if he like went more ridiculous, and it lasted longer.
It should have been like a 5-minute scene. Just
Like
dancing.
it should have been intercut with something more interesting. Because I do like those kinds of scenes. Like where there's a scene in Jason Statham's Mechanic where like the son's just getting fucked up in a hotel room, and it's just like a montage like that, but it's done really great. But the whole villain thing was thrown in like last minute. I did not even like see him as a villain until the movie like emphasized that he is the villain, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the everyone can be Morbius thing. Everyone can also be a villain.
But dude, like what you were saying before about the chick dying, the funniest shit to me was when he becomes Morbius for the first time, right? And he fucking goes and kills those motherfuckers. She gets pushed by one of the henchmen and like hits like an AC and gets knocked out. And like as a result of that, she's in the hospital with she's in like the hospital for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just like a tip in her mouth. Like, what the fuck happened? Like she just got knocked out by some dude, and she didn't even like encounter Morbius.
That's true. But
It's just dude, and like another plot hole, like.
it's not a plot hole. It's a plot decision.
Yeah, but no, dude. They put that little black girl in like a medically induced coma, and then they just forgot about like she's still in a medically induced coma.
That's right. Okay,
They just never showed her. What the fuck happened to her? She's still in a coma.
Yeah, I guess she wasn't important for the Morbius story. She'll be back in the sequel.
Oh my god.
She's actually gonna become Morbius in
Dude,
the sequel.
shit like that was so funny. it's like
I'm crying.
That's why I like this movie.
It was
Because of shit like
listen,
that.
it was the most fun movie watching experience I've had in a while.
That's because you watched it with somebody.
That's right.
And,
That's
you,
probably
and you
true.
watched it going into it with like the lowest bar expectation and going like, I know this is going to be absolutely terrible. Let's find anything redeeming.
No, but it's like funny, man. It's fun. I don't know what to tell you. I can appreciate the movie also being fun. And I feel like movies that are fun most often don't try to be fun in that sense.
But see, like, this is what I mean. Like I was telling Harry.
But that's the thing is, I don't think they aim to make it fun.
I think that's what makes it good. If they aimed to make it fun, it would have been fake. That's what most fun movies end up being, you know?
So you're saying you like the film, not ironically, but ironically, you like it because they made a mistake, that they made a film that they didn't intend to make, but a film that you like.
It's sort of... That's a good way of putting it. I like it unironically, but I like it against the grain. You know, I'm reading against ironic. The grain. It's not ironic because I genuinely like the movie.
the film that they didn't intend to make.
But I genuinely like the movie. It's not like ironic would be if I hated the movie, but I said I liked it. I liked the movie for the movie it is. But even if that's not what they wanted to make. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of goes into what we were talking about with like Dune as well. Whereas to me, the film is what matters, not the process of making it. Did they intend to make it as it is? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do I like it for that? Yes, I do.
I think for me, the way it's fun, I was comparing it to the Underworld movies, which are like horror action movies, but they're, at least they have some great action in it. And
I want to get to that.
And gore. So like it's fun in that way, but for me, this film was incredibly meh.
So meh, so predictable.
It's just incredibly like middle of the road shit that they did the bare minimum for.
Yeah.
I was and that's just like I was like almost like indifferent at the end. At the end of it.
Yeah.
See, I was like by the end of it, I was the opposite. I was conflicted because I was like, if I'm rating it as the movie they wanted to make, probably like a 1 out of 10, you know? If I'm rating it based on enjoyment, it's like a 9, 8, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
So it's, that's...
So did you watch it with like a group of people?
Oh, Jackson, just Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Shout out local server Jackson.
Yeah, if you watch it with your homies, and it's a different experience.
Yeah, that's right. But
Were you drunk?
No, it was today. Was it like noon? No,
I wasn't today. Okay.
But like every second world was. He's about a morb. He's morbing. He's gonna do morb shit.
See shit like that.
But the thing is, you commented on that on a previous podcast, how watching it with people affects you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So if you didn't watch it with anyone, I doubt you would have had such a good time.
That's right. But
because
because
you watched it with someone who's also laughing at all the morb shit, you were having a great time.
If I watched it with you, I would have hated it just because I can tell you would be a real downer on the morb experience. You would have...
Into the morbing experience.
Yeah. Now, I want to bring up
kids.
One scene that I actually really enjoyed, and I unironically think this is pretty funny, clever writing.
All right.
That was the bar scene with Milo and that girl.
Okay.
That was the fucking when the guys are like giving him shit, and he's like, 2 whiskeys for these guys or something like that.
I like that line.
That was a good moment.
Like that line. I thought the scene was very, very generic.
Oh, it was, but the line was
again,
good.
it's like the bare minimum. Okay, he's done his dance. He's like now finally out for the first time. What's he gonna do? Bar, hit on a girl that he's not allowed to hit on because it's like.
Yeah, but it's about the presentation.
Especially when we're at a period where you're making a superhero movie where it's like that other, we're not at a period where comic book movies are like Fringe, where it's like they're for comic book fans. This is like borderline mainstream, part of the Marvel universe, all of that stuff, and it's like and you're doing this stuff. When you're given access to these kind of budgets and these kind of storylines and you're making this kind of film, I have more respect for Repo, right? Where the filmmakers at least put some passion into it, at least put some stuff. But the writers, look at the writers. The writers have written some stuff that I like, right? Look at this director. He's directed some stuff that I like. Look at the DP for this film did Bourne Ultimatum. And you can see every single person on this film went, yeah, I'll just take the paycheck. But to me, it's still... Everybody did the bare minimum. But it still
feels different than like MCU movies. So it's, I can respect it because it tries to do something different.
So well, let's compare. Let's compare to another film that they did that's kind of similar. Venom. Right? I thought Venom is an awesome film.
I don't like Venom as much. You know what it reminded me of? The Amazing Spider-Man.
I haven't even seen that. The one with
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Had a similar vibe, and it also had
Venom has much more Venom like made the film they intended to make, where it's like it's they went on that funny angle, right? Let's make it a little bit funny, and Tom Hardy plays it really nicely, where it's solid acting, but he's also like, we're not taking it too seriously. Yeah. It's like Venom. It's like Morbius is like.
But that's not like anything new. That's every MCU movie.
It's not. That's not MCU.
No, but I know. But it's the same style. It's another company can do that same generic style. I'm saying I think
MCU take themselves way more seriously.
What do you mean?
Yeah, the other film that I think is absolutely trash is Captain Marvel, and I think Captain Marvel is only a success because they slid it into the MCU and every MCU fan was like, we got to watch the post credits, and Captain Marvel came out right before the like epic finale, and we were like, oh well, we got to watch it because we got to see the post credits, we got to find the Easter eggs, and it was an absolutely horrible movie for the exact same reasons, right? The costumes of those aliens were terrible. There was like just like and when you give them access to those kind of budgets and stuff like that, it's just like the storyline predictable, the acting just blur, the fight scenes just blur.
All right, so I enjoyed the fight scenes and the CGI in this movie more than like. We already discussed this before. I'm not a big fight scene fan. All right, and
I just find your statements amazing today.
But I'm just being real. Like the fight scenes normally are boring to me.
There's no point having conversation.
No, but listen. I'm gonna defend the fight scenes, even if the writing is iffy at times. The fight scenes I do enjoy because I think they have that comic book vibe that something like The Amazing Spider-Man had. They feel like a comic book fight scene, whereas something like the MCU is like in between that line of like comic book and real, where it just becomes bland and like it's visually the fight scenes in like MCU shit are boring. Here they try to do something different. The whole bat sense thing with the ears, the eyes, that was so cool. The whole like waves of him sensing like shit, that was such a cool idea.
Visually that was cool.
Visually was really cool.
Visually that was cool, but it was like, I mean, I think they did Spider Sense better.
In the MCU or in the original Spider-Man?
In the original Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, but the original Spider-Man movies are universally considered good. I'm talking like current superhero stuff. MCU
but like
does
again,
not do it like this.
Like you say that you like the fight scenes, and I just say like what fight scenes?
I really
there's like barely, like the finale is like the only thing, and like even in the finale, like they're fighting with bats, like they're throwing bats at each other
because of the storyline, right? Because again, okay, let's compare it to another like conceptually, right? Because if you're going to touch the vampire genre, you're going to have to deal like you're first going to have a good concept, because like there's thousands of other vampire concepts. So what makes your vampire unique, right? So if you look at something like Blade, right? Like Blade is unique because he's the Daywalker, right? And then they were like, okay, he's really strong because he's like this human vampire hybrid, right? But he's purposely doesn't drink blood, right? He gets like a synthetic blood, is it? Yeah. And so he's like not his full potential. So then at the end, to win, he has to drink human blood, and then he like goes off the scale power wise, right? So they like play with those kind of concepts. The thing is like here, like you propose an idea that they could have really explored of like you have Morbius, he's taking this thing, and you have like Milo and he's taking the same thing. But who's stronger? Morbius somehow gets more powers. But why? Because he's cleverer.
Because he drinks her blood. Okay,
but then like but the thing is like there's there should be like concept-wise, there should be no difference in powers between the two, right? But yet somehow he can summon those bats at the end, and he fights with bats.
Because the thing is that wasn't it? So that's the first time he drinks human blood is when he bites her, right?
Well, second. First time was at the very start of the movie, like when in the ship section.
That's right.
And that's very taken from Blade,
Yeah.
right?
But then, like, Milo's just been drinking blood left and right.
Exactly. So he should be a badass.
So, like, he should be way more powerful. Like,
Exactly. So concept-wise, you failed already.
But the thing is that
because that's what makes good fights is you set up the concept first, and then you want to see it play out. That's what makes good fights.
But they also made Milo a bad guy too late. I feel.
Yeah, they didn't set up.
Like they made it too late. It was like it felt like a last minute thing, and therefore like it had no impact.
Yeah.
Even though like
when he finally has that argument with the father, he cuts his throat immediately. It's like there was no build up to that.
Yeah.
Their father figure, and there's like I was like, isn't he taking care of a load of kids? How did it just become them two?
That's right.
Like, when did that happen? And when did he become suddenly like a father figure?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they just drop points in. Oh, Morbius has saved more lives than penicillin. I'm like, oh, okay.
But fight scenes. All right, fight scenes. I think I really like the subway fight scene. That was such a good scene to me, because I think it's also partially they know when to end it. They know how long a fight scene is supposed to be. I find that most action movies, especially superhero movies, they just drag it out. It's like,
are you talking about the fight scene where he was like waits for the train and then,
yeah. And then before that, when the guy kills all the cops as well.
Yeah.
That whole segment.
Dude, that was so fucking random, man.
That was so cool, though.
Dude.
I was cheering when that happened. It was crazy.
Dude,
Actually, I made mental notes on that fight scene actually, because it was like there were things that happened that like there's zero reason except because you wanted to do it to show off some CGI stuff. Like he would smash through, like he would jump and then smash through certain windows for no reason, not because he was kicked or thrown or whatever, but he's like, I'm gonna go this way now. It's like, but why? You know, there's just so many things that were so random. Exactly,
I mean,
just to showcase things.
I can respect that though. They're showcasing things and they're showcasing it well.
They're not being original concept wise or even in their randomness. You want randomness? Let's talk about fucking the Chinese American movie that came out. That's awesome in its randomness. This is just you're playing lowest hanging fruit.
It was so
consistent.
It was so funny during like after that trip, because like until that point like he didn't really fly or anything, and then like at that point it's like, oh shit, I'm flying in front of the train now. What? When did you learn this?
Well, that he learned it on the spot, right? Because he like realized there was like airwaves.
It's like, oh my god, there's kinetic energy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now I can
Such
fly.
a cool scene. Such a cool scene. It was because. But my big thing is they know when to end it. Because my big issue with fight scenes is they drag it out. I don't want to watch a 25-minute fight scene. I don't give a shit. Like, I know Harry likes this movie, and we're gonna talk about it in a future episode. Top Gun.
Don't talk about Top Gun yet.
Just brief mention. It has fight scenes that are like 10, 15, 20 minutes long in planes. I do not care. Just end the scene, please. Whereas Morbius knows, it hits a couple things, it showcases things visually, it ends the scene.
I don't know how to... I just don't know how to proceed if you celebrate this and then you slam Top Gun. I just don't know.
I think
I just don't know how to communicate with you.
I think the fight scenes were it's like it's that movie Ultraviolet. Have you seen that?
No.
Or Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
But Equilibrium is exploring concepts.
Yeah, no. But I'm like specific about the fight scenes. It's like Equilibrium met with Matrix Reloaded, and they like took a giant dump of like CGI, and that's what fight scenes in Morbius are. It's just like, because it's nothing spectacular at all. And I don't get like the Nightcrawler effects.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Nightcrawler.
But
how long
I
ago
think
was
they
how long ago
suck though.
How long ago did we watch Nightcrawler fight scenes? Like that was X-Men, like what, 20 years ago?
Yeah. But the thing is that I thought the fight scenes weren't. But the main problem was that I didn't like or hate anyone. Like I didn't like or hate like Morbius.
I see.
Like I didn't have anything. Like I'm just
there's no character development.
I feel like you need to look at Morbius movies for like 2 months to appreciate the character of Morbius fully. I like the character of Milo up until the end when he dies. R.I.P. Milo. He should have been Morbius.
I think that actor's having fun with it. That's what makes it.
It's
that
funny,
movie looked very fun to shoot.
It's funny because I heard stuff about Jared Leto taking it super seriously, and I could feel maybe if he looked at the script, he'd be like, okay, I need to inject an element of like realism or quality, and so he would have maybe gone like overboard with the crutches thing. But your acting's not going to save this film. It's not Jared Leto. So.
No, it's just so. And like the other thing is like tone wise, this is all over the place.
I just want to ask something while we're on the topic of Jared Leto. Is the hate for him due to his acting or just his real life shit? Because I don't know. Because people seem to hate him, and I don't like. I think he's a good actor. I think he's a good, decent actor, but it's.
I think it's more the outside stuff because like he was recognized as a good actor for a long time in Dallas Buyers Club. He was outstanding, and you know, there's a lot of films where he's incredible. You know, from all the way back from like Requiem for a Dream. You know. But I think especially if you have such a difficult reputation to work with like bad stories, like, and it doesn't even come out into a good movie, then it's like, you know.
And I think he also has a cult, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
No way.
You didn't know that? He's an island with a cult where he's like Jesus. Yeah, search it up.
He's the leader?
He like dresses up in like white as Jesus, and he's like walks around and everyone's like, oh my god, Jared.
Wow. It's like 30 Seconds to Mars thing.
Because he's retired from acting like 10 times.
Yeah, because he was just dedicating more time to his cult.
But yeah, I don't think his acting, no matter how good, would have saved this.
Because I wasn't sure. Because I wasn't sure it was an unpopular opinion to think he's a good actor because he is.
Yeah,
so
he just gets shit material.
Yeah. I want to make some amendments. I'm a big fan of Marvel movies, but I was very apprehensive at the end of Avengers. That I was worried that this might be the end of the quality because they were going to start up with a whole new. Because I loved how, remember what it was, 22 films except for Captain Marvel, right? And then they were like, okay, we're gonna like restart, new heroes, all of that stuff. Ragnarok was like different. It was like the only one that was different, you know, because it was Taika Waititi, and it took a different approach, like more comedy, but like, you know, I like that style, it's entertaining, you know, all that stuff. But I didn't like the new Doctor Strange.
You saw it?
Yeah, I didn't like the new Doctor Strange. I did like the newish Spider-Man because of the 3 Spider-Men in it. You know, I like that. And it was you could tell there was a lot of passion in it, and I think that's because people really like Spider-Man. A lot of people really celebrate Spider-Man, whereas they might not care about other superheroes. But like the last Doctor Strange wasn't good. I thought it was way better than this film, but you know, I feel they dropped the ball on a lot of stuff. But I feel like we're at a point where this film was made because they need to keep churning stuff out, or they need to keep like testing superheroes on us, or it's like Sony. I'm just like saying in general. right? They're trying to develop the new sequence, you know, of like superheroes, and Doctor Strange is trying to do that by like introducing all those like extra superheroes in it, so like, you know, to expand our possibilities. And I think maybe Sony's trying to catch up to trying to create their own universe, and I think they're rushing it. And again, going back, like I like Logan, right, where it's like more Logan. Simple,
yeah,
and it's like a better quality film. But like I don't want them to continue making films like this where there's literally like you're going with the minimum effort, big budget, just entertain them with shit, because it's like comic books for sure, like they're like, who's your target audience? Like 13-year-olds, okay, sure. But the thing is, like when they're made for adults as well, you know, they're just a better quality film. And, you know, I'm never gonna compare them to like an indie film or something like that. But it's just like when you have those kind of budgets and resources, is it really that hard to just pay attention to what you're doing? Is it really that hard to just put a bit more effort into the writing, into the storytelling, into the concepts? Like, how many hands did this story pass through and nobody's saying anything about how shit it is before they start filming? Because you must admit, even though you enjoyed it, this isn't the film they intended to make.
No, but...
And you can see the film they intended to make, and if that's the film they intended to make, it's like, why? Why did you take, what is it, 50 million? They took 75 million. Why are you spending 75 million on this film?
But the thing is, I'm glad we didn't get the film they wanted to make, because the film they wanted to make would have been just the same superhero movie that they made 50 times already. I think at the end of the day, I watched Morbius and I enjoyed it, even if I didn't enjoy it for the reasons they wanted people to enjoy it. I enjoyed the film, whereas the last 10 Marvel movies just leave me kind of the biggest neutral, you know...
Flatline.
Yeah, it's just like, do not care at all. Like, it's at least... It was an entertaining watching experience, whereas Marvel has not given me that in who knows how many movies. Since, like, Infinity War.
See, I don't even have, or I don't even want to put this in the scope of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because first of all, I haven't watched most of it. Just like as an independent fucking film on its own. Yeah, it's pretty meh. I don't think they're going to. They haven't announced plan to use Morbius for any other films. I don't think.
Well, no,
they've tried to force him in.
Yeah, I think they're trying to see what they've got and see the audience's reaction to what they've got. Because they've obviously, like, Venom's done well. They've got Spider-Man. They've got the Vulture, right, which made his appearance in the post credits.
That was my least favorite part, honestly. Them trying to force it into a universe.
I didn't even watch the post credit.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's just literally guy from Spider-Man movie appears, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And then he just like hops into his like suit from Spider-Man, and they're like, "Morbius, let's team up," and that's the ending.
There's just very little care. Like, there's no world building. Right, we have no concept of where they are or what time period it is really. It's like New York, London, bouncing around constantly.
International waters.
Yeah. Lame jokes from the police.
Dude, Al Madrigal and Tyrese is the
random agenda from the police.
It's just so hilarious.
It's just...
Why the fuck was Tyrese in this movie? Like what are you, homie's making bank from Fast and Furious.
That's where I know him from.
I
was trying to figure out where I knew him from.
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Yeah. Why does he need this gig? Why did he take this gig?
And I always feel with Fast and Furious, he's got like the cushiest position.
Yeah.
Because he's like solid in the family, but he's like,
like
enough screen time to be solid.
I feel,
yeah.
I feel
he's
like,
not at risk.
Yeah.
I feel like in the Fast and Furious franchise, he is like the most human of them all.
Yeah, because he doesn't like fly.
Like, he's like, what the fuck are we doing? We're flying a tank. This is crazy. Yeah. You're like, yes, you're right. This is insane.
I need to see more Fast and Furious because I only saw a couple of them, and I enjoyed Fast and Furious 7, in the same way that I enjoy
Fast
Morbius.
5 is when it becomes like a blockbuster action.
Yeah. See, I don't like I've seen the 1, 2, and 3, and I wasn't a fan. But 7 I enjoyed in the same way that I enjoy Morbius, whereas it's so stupid, but it's fun. It's fun because it's stupid.
That's what I mean. Like let's say we were given the task, right, of like, hey guys, we want someone to make a Morbius film, right? I feel like the reason why you like this film is the same way that you would make the Morbius film, and you're like, I don't give a shit about your movie. Let's just make it fun and let's take the piss out of it, and here we go. And that's why you like it.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like you would give zero effort to try to make a quality superhero movie.
Yeah, probably.
Exactly. And because you don't see any value in them. Whereas like for me, like that's why like I'm offended, because I there's a place for it. And it's like these guys just like zero effort.
What did Spinosa do?
Whereas like what I would like he did Life, man. Life is an awesome film. Life is scary. But the thing is is there good bones here? Like it'd be interesting, vampire versus vampire. It'd be interesting to explore like, you know, what their range of powers depending on, you know, their blood.
But like I don't know, because there could have been a interesting like moral and philosophical element of like that Milo actually accepts and likes what he is because it makes him the shit, right?
Yeah, and he could be try to be justified, like, you know, we've been shit on for our whole lives. Yeah. But the thing is, he lives in a palace.
Exactly. Yeah. And then but then Morbius has that struggle. It's like, no, this is wrong. I don't like who I am.
Exactly.
So they could have explored that more, but they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Yeah. So the mask comes off. I don't think it's a good movie, but I do ironically like enjoy it because it's.
But the thing is
that I do think that's what I thought they were gonna go for. Whereas it's sort of like that balance of giving into that power and hurting others, and to like the degree of which they are gonna do it. And because I think it would have been interesting, because like the Morbius thing again is like very cliche of like, oh, it's not worth it if you hurt anyone in the process. I thought it would have been interesting because he is supposed to be like a antagonist, right? Like in the comics, he's a villain as far as I'm aware. So it would have been more interesting to me if Milo was kind of like, I don't give a shit, I'm, you know, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to do whatever I want to. And if Morbius was... And then the woman doctor was sort of trying to get him to, you know, don't do it, stop, become a human again. It would have been so interesting if they had Morbius in the middle, sort of like, I'm not going to let go like Milo, but I don't want to go back to normal. I think that would have been such an interesting conflict. Whereas Morbius, despite
I think they should have put Milo on the streets, and Milo should have been an outcast, and only Jared Leto knows where he's at.
Yeah.
And like he keeps hitting him up for money, hitting him up for stuff, and the maybe the father figure is telling him, just leave him, he's a piece of shit, he had his chance, he's making excuses, and he's like, no, you can't, he's had a hard life, and blah blah blah. Like that contrast would have been interesting. But for him to be like this like prince.
Because where does he live? He just lives in like...
The thing is to get the money from. Explaining. They don't bother explaining.
Yeah, it's like... It's
well, obviously he's made more money than penicillin. Like, he's saved more lives than penicillin. Like, they're obviously loaded.
Yeah.
Right? And then somehow the father figure is also the guy that, like, gives him the award. You know, right at the start, right? So they're, like, obviously medically loaded. You know, don't ask too many questions because of plot holes.
I mean, my kind of takeaway from the very start was that they are... The little medical place here at the start, the hospital, is like a rich person place.
Yeah.
And my kind of assumption was that even then, as kids, they come from rich families, both of them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like they made money in the meantime,
rich
per
people
se.
Disease.
It's as they become...
They inherited money as well.
Yeah, they inherited money, and even from the start, both of them are rich.
Yeah, but it was just so... But the thing is that in terms of it being fun, is that it's so mediocre that it's not even like that it's more mad than fun, right? Because like even like do the chase scenes and the bullet dodges and all the slow motion.
So cool.
But the thing is like
So
the thing is like
stupid.
the thing is like
So dumb.
I feel they're also like disrespecting like our youth. Like when I was a kid, like Goku was like fucking awesome role model, right? And Dragon Ball like explored like interesting concepts. You know, like he would give a sensu bean to his enemy so he could like fight him fully charged. Like he would explore like concepts, you know, just like Hans Christian Andersen and you know fables. They explore concepts in fairy tales and storylines so that we can get something out of it. And that's why comic books were popular, because they're just a different form of fables and stories that have strong morals or strong concepts. But like to just throw CGI at us, right? Which is why I found a lot of the Transformers started getting boring, right? Because it was just like non-stop. And
The
it's just
first
like,
one was like mind-blowing as a kid.
yeah,
The first one was the shit.
yeah.
And then like it just became more of that
Too
over
much.
and over again.
Because that becomes dominant over storyline,
Yeah.
over concept, over like whereas you could have explored some really interesting stuff to like two vampires.
But I still do think that CGI is an art form of its own, whereas I don't think it's given enough
Dude,
freedom normally.
can we fucking talk about the faces?
I like that. It was so, because it gives into that what we were talking about, where it gives it a comic booky feel. It doesn't try to be overly realistic.
No, it doesn't. No, the faces in the comic books look so much better than that.
Alright, give me a second. I gotta Google this shit.
Because, dude, okay. And not just like the actual CGI of it, but the fact that they just randomly like morph into it in conversation. Like, that shit was so funny. Like,
It's kind of pretty similar to the comics, from what I can tell.
but it's like, dude, that was so random, man.
I mean, I don't know. I think.
And then,
I think
the
especially-
powers are just undefined. Like, he
Exactly.
flies, he can, like, it's like he can sense shit, he has super strength, but he's not a full, like, vampire because he doesn't get burned by sunlight, but he is a vampire. Like, it's this shit is just
Yeah.
jumbled, dog.
I mean, for example, like, you know, like one of the cool things about like why everyone likes Spider-Man is so human-like, you know, in his like approach to stuff. And then as Spider-Man like first tests out webbing, like he fails at it, he sucks at it, you know, and you see him like learn this stuff. Morbius just like acquires powers, like, you know, without even learning it. And I think that's what really annoyed a lot of people about the new Star Wars too, is that Rey was overpowered, right? Rey like just has like Luke would learn, and it's part of the hero's journey. Your hero's not good enough, and he like upgrades, right? And that's like big story points and big moral points and big like, you know, life lessons. It's like you have to do this to get better. It's like literally the essence of Dragon Ball, right? It's like you fight a
You have
bad
to
guy,
level
you
up.
lose, you power up, right? It's like, but like Morbius just acquires powers because why? Because he can.
And then the fact that he like acquires them, it's not like there isn't much of a transition period. I mean, there's that montage where he's like testing it out, right? And he does all that shit where it's like, oh my god, like I can hang upside down from a fucking beam, you know. But that shit, but it was just.
I didn't know. I was like, is he hurt? Is he recovering? Like, what's happening? And then I was also like, wait, are they in New York? Where is there that much space in New York? Like, where are they? Like,
Yeah. And then they fucking just the whole kind of Nightcrawler fight scenes were just and the chase was so bad.
What chase? Which
The
one?
subway chase.
I listen. The subway chase was fun.
It was just no, it wasn't.
It was a highlight of the movie for me. Like,
It was-
completely serious.
It was funny. It was not fun.
It was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, but then the movie just like randomly ended. Like he just like flies off.
That's true.
It's just like what? It just ended like directly after the finale. There was no conclusion.
Thanks. There's no conclusion, but there are 2 post-credit scenes that do not contribute at all.
Dude, I thought the chick was gonna wake up and like help him fight Milo. I was like, that would have made like cliched sense, you know.
It was vague. It was a vague ending, you know.
That was so funny.
I do hope we get a Morbius too, just because it would be so fun. I really want to watch it. It's because to me it's like getting a sequel to an overwhelmingly like a movie that's so poorly made that it's fun is much more interesting than getting a sequel to like a averagely made movie, you know?
But and then the other thing, like my expectations were weird. I was expecting this to be a lot more vampire than it was.
No, it isn't. Yeah,
this was like 10% vampire. The rest was just like. Yeah. It was like Jared Leto fucking looking dehydrated.
Did you right.
Trying to fucking find a cure and shit.
On the vampire angle, I thought it was hilarious how he drinks the blood, whereas he like skulls it, or he like spits out his skulls it. That was fucking fun. It's hilarious to me. Instead of like
how he just like drinks it like
yeah, it's like yeah, he could have like drank it as a straw. Like it's got like the thing in it, but he has to do like.
I think the other issue was that this had to be PG-13.
Yeah.
I think that kind of hindered how vampire they can go.
This reminds me a lot of when the Star Wars prequels came out, and people got really upset about how they treated Luke Skywalker, how they treated the whole thing, how they like subverted expectations. And I remember the director who did Knives Out, you know, because he came under so much criticism for it. He was like, what's your problem? Like, you know, like we're allowed to do whatever. I'm the director. Like, stop taking your stuff so seriously. And I felt, and I was like, and it was like quite an interesting argument, and I got really involved in this, listening to like both sides, and I feel like, okay, at what point do you really like have to respect fans? You know, because like some fans, especially for Star Wars, they like, you know, they like call it their religion, you know, and they like die hard Star Wars fans, and they like, and like Luke is like their hero. It's like a saint. And then, you know, because you want to subvert expectations, you're just gonna like retcon stuff and mess with stuff, and like, and I feel it's something similar with like comic books, and it's like comic book fans have been like outcast fringe people for a long time until recently, where it's like mainstream, and then like now because it's mainstream, people are like making stuff like this, but this is like nothing compared to the comic books, where like they're actually written really well, right? And so like this is now like the machine is like some of it, you know, it's a massive industry, but like now this the machine is now churning back, going, oh, we know what you like, here's another one, go pay for this one, and it's like don't disrespect them, you know. Don't think that you can just make any crap and they'll buy it, you know.
That's why I think the fans are kind of talking with their money when it comes to a lot of stuff, because a lot of like new shit that they try in comics is just not selling. But in terms of like movies like this, I don't know, because like Morbius is not like a major Marvel character.
No.
So the fact that they made a movie about him is, I don't know, I guess they would want to shoehorn him in.
Reaching.
Yeah, I guess because they're running out of like dope villains or people for the Spider-Man universe. I don't know, because at the end of the day, for Marvel, it is all about money, man.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. They don't care about anything else.
But at the same time, like like so far, majoritively, they've been respectful to the property, especially when Stan Lee was alive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but they've kind of also made their own universe out of the comic book stories.
Yeah, and they've done, I would say, a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, when you compare it to something like Star Wars, where George Lucas gave over the rights to Disney and then maybe regretted that, you know, that was like a whole different issue. You know, because like that wasn't the movie, that wasn't the direction he wanted for Luke Skywalker. That's not the direction. And then it's like you have a new director who might not be a mega Star Wars fan. He's just like, I'm just gonna make something original, and I'm gonna like,
I think
like Luca, like gonna make at least make it fun, you know. And then like the fans are like, shit, but like now you've made it official. And exact same thing happened with Game of Thrones, man.
Oh really?
Yeah, like the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, it was like before I would tell, because I'm such a fantasy fan, right?
Yeah.
I love fantasy. I love dragons and shit. And it's like before that, I was like, everyone, oh my god, you've not seen Game of Thrones? It's like they bring the acting and the realism and the intensity, but it's in this fantasy world, and then boom, like you know, to the point where like, because the creator hasn't finished the books, it's in the wrong hands.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so they took it in a different direction. They're like, oh, but isn't this what you want? And it's like, no. You know, and it's obvious when somebody doesn't care, and they're just like, let's just wrap it up. Like, just give it to them and they'll pay for it. It's like, this is disrespectful.
But because to me, I don't know, because it's a weird comparison, because I don't get the sense that most people behind the MCU care about that either.
I think it's a double-edged sword. Where
I think the Russo brothers care.
They do.
I
But
think
the other directors and most of the actors, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, and that's why I say I was worried after Infinity Wars that it would go downhill.
And it did.
dude, I didn't, because I didn't follow the MCU as it was happening. I recently ran across a clips of like it was a compilation of those like Avengers press conferences. Fuck, they did a lot of those.
Yes.
And man, like
the full cast.
But like again, like
Fuck,
huge respect, because this all really started with Robert Downey Jr.
With Iron
right?
Man,
Because he was able to tread that line between I'm gonna deliver, right, but be cool.
Yeah.
And it's like a comic book movie, but I'm gonna make it cool. And everyone was like, okay,
the first Iron Man.
Okay, this is like mainstream. And the first Iron Man's like not that good.
It has the best Stan Lee cameo ever, in my opinion.
What is it?
It's when he mistakes him for Hugh Hefner. He's like, looking good, Hef. And then he turns around, it's a set of Stan Lee. And I was just like, that is the best Stan Lee cameo. Yeah, but like I think it's a double-edged sword in a way that, and I think the Star Wars, the new Star Wars sequels revealed this, is that social media is good because it has kind of given fans and fandoms kind of voices to kind of reach them, but also you can't always listen to the fans, man.
But the thing is, you
can't always listen to the fans.
But we're now on that subject matter. Like again, another passion of mine, Lord of the Rings, right? And then making it a series, Amazon. But like it's like interesting. I haven't looked into it that much, but I know like Amazon bought only some of the rights to Lord of the Rings.
It's not
right? So they can't do whatever they want. But with what they have bought, like they are trying to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so the fans, from what they've seen so far, are like, oh no.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like.
Yeah, but like again, like if you're gonna take a
and I think that's
like
why.
that,
but I think that's
why
you have to be, and I think that's why Peter Jackson was a good choice, because he's a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I think you gotta get a nerd or a geek of the property.
Of the project, yeah. But you're not going to get that with everyone. I don't think. But I don't think this movie is made for fans. I think Morbius is just a cash grab experiment and a way to see if they could push something on us in a different kind of tone, which failed.
Yeah.
I wonder what'll happen next time.
And for the longest time, I was trying to talk with my money, right? And then it was like on the list for the podcast, and I was like, gosh.
So I wonder what'll happen now, because Morbius did get popular, but for the wrong reasons. I wonder if they're gonna realize that people don't like it, or if they're just going to blindly go into it. It made money, people are watching it. Let's make more.
What if they do like? What if they lean into the meme? That would be amazing.
I'm all here for the Morbius.
Imagine if you're Jared Leto. Imagine if you know that you're ironically liked, right? But you're like, I'll just take the money.
But dude,
what if he's paid like outrageous amounts of money? And
Jared Leto does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
I think he's just on like another.
I think he gave a fuck with Joker. I think he was really trying to do something iconic.
Yeah.
I think now.
He does not care about
but dude, no. I think he did do something.
Can you imagine if he did do something like it's morbing time? It'd be like.
Oh, on this topic, all right. I just realized something. They cut so much shit out. There's so much shit in the trailer that's not in the movie.
Like one-liners?
Yeah, there's so many lines because if you recall, for the past 2 months, I've been saying Dr. Michael Morbius at your service. That's in the trailer. It's not in the movie.
Yeah.
There's many, because I watched the trailer after the movie. There's so many scenes that are in the trailer that are not in the movie. So many lines, so much exposition.
Bait.
Yeah, bait as well.
Yeah.
Because I also realized that when I was watching the movie, during the subway scene when Matt Smith is walking, I recognized that shot from the trailer. But in the trailer, he's not a vampire. He's just a guy. And then in the movie, that's his vampire form. There's so much that they changed,
but that's what's fast because we've talked about this almost every episode of where the system is at, and it seems like the system has become so good that they can make a movie like this and still make a profit.
Yeah.
Right. The marketing and everything. It's even though we all had a suspicion that it was gonna be bad, it still made a profit.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Marvel. And it's a Jared Leto movie, and it's vampires, so you would get.
But what about the last what about the last Terminator? Because I think James Cameron was on that as a producer, and I think that bombed.
But I think it's because just immediately it's a much smaller fan base because you get the fan base of
as well.
Yeah, you get a fan base of every single MCU character or Marvel character who are into the comic books, and they would probably go see Morbius just because it's the new Marvel movie. But it's a lot, actually.
So Dark Fate.
Just took 261 million.
Dude, okay.
Interesting.
Okay, back to Morbius.
Yeah.
That dialogue. There's one line of dialogue where I'm just like, you motherfucker.
There was one.
Didn't. When he's in the prison. And he goes, I'm getting hungry.
Oh, dude.
You don't want to see me when
dude,
I'm
that
hungry.
line.
I was just like, nope, that's the Hulk. That's the Hulk.
Dude,
stop it.
Dude, that line. That's why I told you. That's why I told you. I had a feeling that I said to him earlier before we did the podcast. I was like, I had to check the writer because I was like, almost feels like it's written by a foreigner, who's English isn't quite sure, and it's this is what you want, right? You know?
But that one line, I was just like, you motherfuckers, because that's Hulk's fucking slogan.
But how'd you get away with that?
That's what
I mean.
That's
How many people did that go through? How did Jared Leto go? Guys, are you sure? Guys, are we sure about this? And everyone in the room and all the producers were like, "Do it."
There was one line. I'm trying to remember what it was. There was some that there was like almost like MCU-esque where he like makes the most stupid one-liner joke after something that I hated so much.
There were a few of those where I'm just like, get the.
There was one specific. Oh, what was it? Where he says something and then he's like, or is it like that? I don't know. It was. I don't remember.
Okay, because you mentioned it, but we will do a separate episode on it. I said this before. One of the reasons why I love Top Gun so much is because it's not afraid to like take itself seriously and be like, look, this is what we do. We're gonna do it the best, and and that's it. And we're not gonna like do things ironically. We're not gonna like make a cheap joke to show that we're not taking ourselves seriously. We're like, no, we're going to be the best at this, and this is what we're going to do. And boom, there it was. And I was like, that's awesome.
I do think they did kind of take that idea from Marvel of just having like the funny one-liners constantly throughout the movie. But I do think, this is just the new movie, not the original. But I do think that the jokes they have work a lot better than superhero movie jokes, like the classic jokes. So I'll give them that.
In Top Gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the jokes, the funny one-liners work a lot better than in most superhero shit. In Morbius, I found him funny for the wrong reason. Again, I found him funny because I'm like, how did people like agree to do this? This is so shit. This is like the most unfunny joke I have ever heard, but it's funny because of that.
But then
I think the doctor actress was the best part of the movie. I thought she was the best.
I thought Matt Smith carried that movie. For real.
But dude, what else was the funniest part of it is I like all the growls, like looking at the screen trying to look scary growls. There's a whole bunch of those. Where it's just like holds on to that, and I'm just like, this is not scary or cool.
You know what I thought was good about the new Spider-Man as well is like Tom Holland is fantastic as Spider-Man. I think he's the best actor to be Spider-Man. But the thing is like they know that as a fan you would have watched a lot of certain stuff. So they're not gonna bother going over it again. We're not gonna bother like how he's designing his costume. We're not gonna bother explaining some of these powers. It's just like given. The thing is like I feel with this vampire genre, they dealt with it slightly in like when he goes to grab the coffee cup. I'm not that kind of vampire. And then whenever like they're going through the research and they're like, I'm not that kind of vampire. But everything else, like all the scenes that they pick, oh, she's bleeding. You better wrap that up. It's like it's all stereotype scenes, every single one.
It's so cliche.
Boom,
Cliche
you're
lines.
like, I'm sexy. Let's go to a bar, pick up a girl. It's like everything, stereotype, everything.
Same with the fucking like hospital hallway scene. I'm just like, this is like
cool twist.
Horror 101 kind of like dark hallway, lights going out. Hello?
That had a cool twist in though. I appreciate the twist.
What twist?
That it wasn't Morbius.
Oh, that it was Mila?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it like it's.
But we know that he's going to be the bad one.
But it's
but like I didn't know he was going to start killing yet. You know?
But that was it was all cliche, generic. Like everything from the dialogue to the set pieces to the action scenes, it's all just like run of the mill, mediocre. Like
I'm scared that they brought this up. Is there?
Oh yeah, Vecna. That's the new villain in Stranger Things.
Really?
It's called Vecna.
I was worried it was Vesna, but it's Vecna.
They're copying us hard.
And it's a cult.
They're copying us hard.
Cult of Vecna.
Oh my god. Shameless.
Yeah, shameless.
Yeah, I know they just saw the trailers.
But yeah, Morbius is it was an interesting experience. I don't think I'm gonna watch another Marvel movie for a while. Marvel property.
Oh, don't I think Marvel need to take their name off it, but I don't think you can put that under Marvel.
No,
I mean that has to be a
Sony. Yeah, but it's still. Can we make fucking vampires like scary again? Like,
Yeah.
instead of like this shit.
What if you were offered Morbius 2? $10 million.
Yeah, do it immediately. I would. I wouldn't even question it.
Just 10 million?
50 million then.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like how you said like you're already like a rich like director, like just 10 mil.
Yeah, I mean like,
What?
with that we're not going to be able to afford Jared Leto again. So, but if I would make Morbius 2.
Sony hates me forever.
I'd put Morbius 2 at an R rating immediately. Just like take it out of this shit.
See, that would be fascinating.
Yeah.
To make Morbius as a horror film.
Yeah, that's
Like the first, like horror superhero.
That's what
That'd
I
be
think they should have
interesting.
done with Batman.
But dude, it
Well, that's why we all like the Batman choice, because it was so heavy stylized and like we're going down this road.
But this
it was awesome.
But this story could have been like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing
Yeah.
for Morbius's character.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It would have been great. So yeah, do.
But
like something
didn't
like that.
something very similar happen to like Suicide Squad, and then they had to like retcon it because it was like it wasn't PG enough, and they wanted the
No.
numbers.
No, something way more stupid happened with Suicide Squad. So, David Ayer, right, who wrote Training Day, he's the one who directed it, and so he had his cut. He was gone.
Unpopular opinion. He also did Spark or something. Will Smith and he was
Bright, Blight,
Bright.
something like that.
Yeah.
I like that film.
Come on, man.
I like that film.
But
You're
so
Morbius.
so what happened was the trailer company cut that second trailer with Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah, that's right.
right? And
So
that
it wasn't the director.
and that trailer became so popular, became so viral, and like so the studio was like,
They changed the film to match the trailer.
oh, we have to make the movie like this. So that's when they added the pop element, they added all the pop radio songs, made it, and so like David Ayer had this whole thread about it, like where like he
Yeah, 'cause
was-
that's not
where
really
he
his
was
style.
raging- No. So like that's what they did, is that because of that trailer, they went
They
back
made
and
it
made the
poppy.
movie pop.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. But
Leave movie making to directors.
I mean, studio, man. They have the final say.
that's what annoyed me with The Northman.
I haven't seen it yet.
No spoilers. The Eggers said that this was the first time he didn't get final cut say. It was the studio, and he complained. So he said it was the most difficult film to make yet, and he does not want to do it again. He said he'd rather stick to lower budgets where he can get final cut say rather than here,
Yeah.
because they cut down a lot of the more graphic side of things. Because he's a horror director.
Yeah.
He of course would have wanted to include more of that, but they didn't let him. And same with he wanted to
It'd be
focus
cool to
more.
see his cut then.
Yeah, it would be so cool.
Is he gonna do one? He must do.
I don't know, because he
I
said
think they can.
he said it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And he said that he said something that I feel like it was probably a little forced just to promote the film, where he said it's the most entertaining cut of the film, and he said the studio made the most entertaining cut of the film. But he
Yeah,
said
that's political.
yeah, that's political. But he even for The Lighthouse, he said, I don't make entertaining movies. I don't make movies with the goal of entertainment. So I can't imagine that he's a huge fan of this cut. But I don't know if he'll be able to release his own, which is a shame, because I really want to see his cut.
Yeah,
Sad.
that's how it goes with this shit, because you have
I'm still traumatized from what you did to me earlier.
Yeah, so the mask comes off. Harry, you can relax. I still like Morbius, ironically. I thoroughly enjoy my time with it. I might rewatch it with friends. I don't think it's a good movie. I don't like Top Gun 2, but that we can talk about that next time. That part of it was serious. I do like the CGI and the fight scenes. The writing was
I
trash.
don't want to do
Get the
Top
fuck
Gun.
out
I don't
of
want to do Top Gun with you.
We're gonna, but
All right, so brief teaser for that episode. Top Gun 2 was the first in my almost 20 years of living. It is the first film that made me fall asleep in a cinema.
Dude, you're so rude. You're like so rude.
did you
No,
see
like-
the first one?
Yeah.
So you have seen the first.
Yes. No, I didn't just go into Top Gun
Okay.
2 without any
Yeah,
history
yeah.
knowledge. So I did see the first
You're
one.
just a troll, man. You're a troll. Like you brought you've ironically been a troll for so long that you're picking up troll habits.
I
and you're
told you
bringing
this
it-
was going to be a shit post
You're
episode.
bringing it into your workplace.
But I think that's what I was saying with like irony culture, you know? Now it's everything's so ironic that, you know,
But
everything
not everyone's like that, man. You're leaning into it too much, bro.
I do everything too much.
You're becoming a massive troll.
I do everything too much. I'm an extremist in every sense.
But this
But-
is, yeah, this movie was extremely average,
Okay, no, I cannot
And-
agree with that.
and yeah, that's all I will say. And it's like someone just make like a dope vampire movie. Can we just like reboot the whole genre? And,
There are
like,
dope vampire movies
pretend
still.
this shit, but not since let the right one end.
Yeah. It's so hard, right? Because it's like you have to be conscious of every vampire film made before.
Mm.
So you got to try to be original, try to kind of come with a new angle.
It's
tough to
But
touch the genre.
just make them scary again, dude. Vampires are bad.
Well, I
No,
thought on that World War Z's not vampires.
Who?
I thought World War Z was a really good take
Mm.
on zombie movies when zombie movies are like seem to be so overdone.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I don't think you're ever gonna see an interesting vampire film or film from like a major studio. There are still good vampire films, but like they're independent films. You're not ever gonna get it on this level.
It's not gonna be like, cause fucking all this shit over the last 2 decades just like made vampires like a meme, like a caricature.
Do you know what we could do?
Hmm?
Is we could do a reaction video as we're watching a film.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
People do that.
People do that.
Yeah. We could do that.
But what was I gonna say? Key and Peele did a sketch like making fun of vampire movies. Have you seen this?
I don't think so. No.
Key and Peele.
We'll look it up after.
Yeah. Where they're like, there's a new like recruit at like this vampire mansion. It's like all these vampires like, you know, chilling, like feeling on each other, like just being all sexy. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? it's like why are you being so weird? Like it's like why is that chick licking that guy's ear? What is going like?
Wait, so are you against like sexy
It's
vampire
just like-
movies?
Huh?
Are you against the
Stereotypes.
genre of sexy vampire
No, I'm not
movies?
against sexy vampires. I'm just saying vampires are fucking bad motherfuckers,
Yeah.
man.
But I,
Like they live for thousands of years. They don't give a fuck. They kill animals.
Yeah.
They fuck everything. Like
I thought Interview the Vampires like one of the best.
that was
I'm not
ages
huge.
ago.
Ages ago.
I'm not huge on it, but you know what's
What
one
did
of
you
the
say?
worst? I'm not huge on Interview with a Vampire. You know what was one of the worst that I hate so much? Have you seen Dark Shadows by Tim Burton? I think it's called Dark Shadows.
No, I
That's
haven't. No, I haven't. No.
That's like my mom convinced us to watch it. It's gotta be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It sucks,
Johnny
man.
Depp.
Yeah, it's Johnny Depp, and his movies are very hit or miss for me. Like some of them are like, it's never due to him. I don't think he fucks up, but his choice of films can be
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
It was Tim Burton, right? So they're like, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
and
I
like
hate that
Tim
one so
Burton's
much, man.
been style over substance for like ages now.
Mm.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then like his style over substance, but I don't like the style, so I'm always gonna hate his movies. So
Yeah, like, cause his gothic style was good
Mm.
in like the early
It was his
80s and 90s.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he just became like
became a meme.
But
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland is like
It's weird. It's like too weird.
that's just crazy. It's just too much, man.
Yeah,
It's just
too
too
much.
much production design in that department.
I thought the same with Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah, it was too much. I do.
Because I think the original is still holds up.
Dude, yeah.
Because Gene Wilder is
amazing.
incredible.
Gene Wilder is fucking phenomenal.
Right, because he
in
does
that movie.
this. He's like quirky, but like
He's
it's like
sinister.
realistic. Yeah, and it's
He's
like a little
sinister,
bit dark.
dude.
Whereas like Johnny
That-
went completely wacky with it. That you were like, this is just too surreal.
That whole scene where he's like, "We wonder where we're going."
Oh yeah.
Dude, that scene is still creepy as fuck till this day. That's a great movie.
And like at the end, he gets mad at the kid.
Yeah.
It's like, you lose. It's like,
Good day, sir. Yeah. Great film.
all right, let's wrap this up. I'm traumatized, and I'm not doing Top Gun.
Alright, so guys, this has been my last episode on the podcast. It was nice talking to you.
So now it'll just be HD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Films in HD.
Films in HD.
Films in
Makes more
HD.
sense.
Yeah. It was
We
a fun
could
time.
drop the madness at LHD.
It was fun while it lasted. I'm gonna be starting my own podcast, Films on L. Films on L.
Films that take an L.
Films that take an L. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's what my part of the podcast is.
We discussed. For those of you who listen that are filmmakers, we do want to do a watch your film Wednesdays. So if you want us to watch your films, please get in touch. Luke has already got a few lined up, but we'll watch them without him now that he's. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Please let us know what you like. Do you agree with Luca on Morbius being a masterpiece? Do you want Luca back? If we get 10 likes, we will bring Luca back. His fate is up to you.
Alright, guys, keep morbing, everyone.
Yeah, keep morbing.
Great episode. I think this is my favorite episode so far.
That was a fun episode.
But dude, we're not doing Top Gun.
Actually,
I'm not gonna argue.
But dude, I
actually don't like it. That was my name.
But dude, I was seriously thinking about that fucking plot hole with the little black girl.
That was fucking hilarious. I forgot about that. I completely forgot.
Just like, so it's like, we need to put her in medically induced coma. And then just forgot about her for the rest of the movie. She's still in a coma. So great. just like, and then like her parents would be like, I need to speak to Dr. Morbius. What the fuck? Like, sorry, he's a vampire now. Like, what?
It's like, what happened to my daughter's doctor? He's wanted for 10 murders. He's a vampire. We just saw him flying across the street here.
That'd be so fucking funny. Oh my god.
That's in the sequel.
Yeah, we're such a. Sorry.
Someone needs to make like a parody of that in Morbius movie. Of like his.
No, dude, we should do that in Morbius Patience. The black girl's face.
That be a fun sketch.
Yeah, someone's like in his doctor's office and they're like just waiting, like, so doctor, what is it? And he's just like looking into the mirror like
Oh, that'd be great if we did that.
But I love there's so many like memes of like fake Morbius lines, but the thing is I would not be surprised if some of them were
Yeah.
like one of them is the last one is to bats it's lethal, to humans it's deadly.